Hey guys, I earned $1 million and then lost it all. What I didn't realize was that money doesn't solve problems. What do I mean by that? Money is not the answer to problems. And there's really no answers to life. There's just living. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. So disclaimer here, I'm no financial advisor, and also the money that I earned, I did not earn from stocks or investments. This was purely strictly from my job earnings and a little bit of inheritance money. Let's rewind time back to 2012, about 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was finishing my final year of college, about to embark on a career and join the rat race. It wasn't about the hustle for me. I still had the illusion that money solves problems. So I was driven to eventually start my own business, but we'll actually come back to starting my first business later. By this time in 2012, I'd already earned about $20,000 from part-time jobs. And my first job out of college was a programming job. I had to commute to for 4 hours a day in traffic and got paid around $50,000 a year. I worked up to $60,000 a year as my second job at a consulting company. And strangely enough, the more I worked there, the more I saw that money was scarce at this consulting company. I knew I had to get out, partially because I had a dream to work at Apple eventually, and partially because I knew that they weren't going to pay me more anytime soon. So how did I know this? Well, I asked around, I asked my coworkers how much they made, I networked with others after work and asked them how much they made, uploaded my resume to a recruiting site like dice.com and asked recruiters how much they were interested in compensating. Then I joined another company in 2014 for $75,000 a year as an iOS app developer. I worked there for about 2 years, and then my grandma passed away, leaving an inheritance of $30,000. My brother chipped in, giving his own share of $30,000 of the inheritance to me to kickstart my startup in 2015. By this point in life, I'd have gotten around 300K in earnings around the course of 5 years. And where did that really go? Well, 25% went to taxes, 25% went to my startup, 20% went to paying off my student college loan, and the other 30% went to traveling, groceries, and lots of electronics. Oh, did I mention I loved Apple products? I had to have the latest phones, laptops, iPads, and even really Apple routers up until then. I loved the latest technology, and it showed literally in my bank account. I even hired a couple of software programmers during this time when I didn't yet know how to run a business profitably. So then I chased a new shiny. As my earnings grew in 2017 to 120K a year, then in 2019 to 160K a year, and as I crossed the $1 million earn mark in 2021, it's clear I wasn't saving money, but spending it like there was no tomorrow. I traveled a lot solo, I ate out frequently, I paid the restaurant bills, I paid internet, phone, and even got iPhones for my family, grocery bills for my parents, and helped out my parents pay for their student loans. And I kept buying the latest iPhones, iPads, and MacBook Pros, and bought my first car in 2017, a Fiat 500e, then a Tesla Performance, Model 3 Performance in 2018. I didn't understand how to save money other than leaving it in a bank account. At the same time, I knew that I wanted to have a better quality of living. Moved out of my parents' house in 2017, spent around 15K in personal development and coaching since 2017. And I've since realized in 2020 that my spending was really out of control. And I was paying for things that my parents had previously bought on Amazon. It really just had to stop if I was to have any chance of saving money towards stocks or real estate. And so in 2021, I stopped giving my parents free access to Netflix, internet, unlimited Amazon Prime shopping, free organic groceries, and stopped buying the latest iPhones and MacBooks. My savings went from 5% of my income to 70% of my income simply because I started being intentional about saving money. I now have about $70,000 saved and invested as a result, but my journey is just really getting started because I now realize I cannot let family treat me as an unlimited ATM. I'm not just saving money, but investing it in real estate using Fundrise and investing in stocks such as Tesla and Square. So where did all this spending habits come from? Let me rephrase. It's actually a lack of saving habits. Since I didn't know how to save money, I spent it. That's all my parents knew. And that's all I knew growing up with them until I learned on my own. I started realizing how bad my parents were with spending money by cleaning the house. That's right, it just started with me simply as a kid. In my earliest memories, I got payment for cleaning the house, about $5, but that actually stopped after 3 times, and then my parents expected me to clean the house afterward for free. It seemed like money was used as an incentive initially, but then replaced with an obligation because of family. How many times have we placed family on a pedestal, with parents being the pinnacle of this pedestal? If your parents asked you to schedule time with family, it would override your friends' gatherings. Or if your parents asked you to send them some money, you'd probably do it. And if your parents asked you to pay their bills, you'd probably do it too. This all happened with me, and it's unfortunately way too common that parents rely on kids being a retirement plan rather than having a retirement plan themselves. Man, this video is getting long. I really wish the story ended there. My parents continued to spend even more money that they didn't have to buy fine china, to buy glassware that they wouldn't use in 20 years, to buy an air filter that got dirty by sitting on a shelf for another 15 years. And they bought heaps of expensive clothing from Kohl's, Nordstrom, JCPenney, Macy's, and even Robinson's May, which is a mail order service in case you're too young to remember that. Some of these clothes were antiquated the moment they were purchased, but my parents never considered shopping at, say, discount stores such as Ross, TJ Maxx, Home Goods, or even Marshall's. There's so much that I donated as I cleaned out 40 years of pack ratting that my parents, had they known I was donating, would have surely objected, because my parents inherited a pat rack mentality from perhaps their parents. And finally, I come to my last and ugliest experience when reflecting on these spending habits. Unfortunately, we live in a society that is constantly pushing us to buy more, spend more on things. We rarely question why or what it costs us of time or resources to get the money, only that we spend it. It's funny, I fell into this trap too. Chasing something shiny, trying to gain my parents' respect, and what is it all for? I mean, really, I was asking myself that question. I was working so hard for this money, and what was it all for? Did I really want to follow my parents down a path of narcissism and judge people based on how much money they had? Of course not. As I continued to do more personal development, I started to realize I could have a life I actually wanted, but money wasn't going to get me there. What was going to get me there? Well, I didn't realize it when I started out, but consistent actions towards making sure that I embody my values really helped. Values like transparency, having fun, helping others, being with another who's adventurous, and whimsy. I literally make it my life's mission to have these values in my life so I can have the life I want. I've managed to attract and retain people in my life that I actually want to be around, and they want to be around me. Sometimes I get a bit of imposter syndrome from that. And yes, I may have lost $1 million, but I've gained an invaluable lesson that money cannot buy happiness. So what did I learn from this experience? Money doesn't solve problems in life. If you have more of it, you're going to have more money problems, and if you have less of it, you're going to have less money problems. Some problems can't be solved with money. Don't always chase something shiny. Question whether you'll significantly increase your quality of life and whether it'll be permanent. Family should never use you as an unlimited ATM. Your parents should have a retirement plan independent of your finances. Save and invest so you can grow your money for a brighter future. Really, you know all the junk that your parents or your family or even you have collected? It was all worth buying at some point, but it's really lost its value to you. How many times could you have known this in advance simply by asking, would you still value this thing you bought in 5 years? I know I donated so much junk because it was worth something at some point, but that was stuff that was bought with hard-earned money. That and the fact that it wasn't a purchase that led to a permanent increase in the quality of life. What it costs us in time or resources to get the money when we spend it. And finally, don't judge people based on how much money they have. I'm always curious to hear, what is your experience of money? Does your family treat members differently because of it? Are people you know treated differently because they have it or do not have it? Let me know in the comments. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate the support.